Hello, everyone. Welcome to MindSpeak, where you learn English through the most mind-blowing success stories on the planet. I'm Tony, and today I'm going to tell you about a college dropout who became the richest man in the world. But here's the crazy part. He didn't invent the computer. He didn't even finish university. And his first business idea, he actually stole it. Wait, what? Yes, you heard that right. And that mistake made him $100 billion. His name is Bill Gates, and his story will change how you think about success forever. In the next 18 minutes, you will discover 3 secrets that turn a shy, nerdy kid into a tech giant. You'll learn why being lazy can make you rich, and you'll see why dropping out was the smartest decision he ever made. But if you click away now, you'll miss the moment when Bill lied to the biggest company in the world and got away with it. Trust me, you don't want to miss that. So right now, if you're ready to learn English and get inspired at the same time, comment number 1. Let's go. Oh, and one more thing. Bill Gates once said, "I choose a lazy person to do a hard job." Sounds crazy, right? By the end of this video, you'll understand why this is actually genius. Let's start. Bill Gates was born on October 28, 1955, in Seattle, Washington. His family was comfortable. Not super rich, but not poor either. His dad was a lawyer. His mom worked with charities. Bill was the middle child. He had 2 sisters. But Bill was different. Very different. While other kids played outside, Bill read encyclopedias. Yes, those huge boring books full of facts. His parents were worried. Is our son normal? They wondered. Bill was shy. He had very few friends. He was awkward at parties. But his brain was a supercomputer. He could memorize entire pages of information. He solved math problems faster than his teachers. Numbers made perfect sense to him. When Bill was 13, his parents made a decision that changed everything. They sent him to Lakeside School. This was an expensive private school for gifted students. And Lakeside had something very special in 1968. Something that most schools didn't have. Can you guess? A computer. Now, this wasn't a laptop or a phone. This was a massive machine. It filled an entire room. It made weird noises. It used punch cards to work. But to Bill, it was the most beautiful thing he had ever seen. The first time Bill touched that computer, something clicked in his brain. He felt electricity. He felt purpose. He felt alive. This was love at first sight. Bill started spending every free moment with that computer. He skipped lunch. He skipped sports. He even skipped going home. His teacher said, "Bill, you need balance in your life." Bill said, "I am balanced. I balance coding with more coding." Bill found something he loved more than anything. When you find your passion, work doesn't feel like work. It feels like play. What makes you lose track of time? That's your clue. At Lakeside, Bill met another boy. His name was Paul Allen. Paul was older. He was cool. He also loved computers. They became best friends instantly. Bill and Paul made a deal. Let's learn everything about computers. Let's become the best programmers in the world. They were just teenagers, but they dreamed like giants. They spent thousands of hours coding together. They learned programming languages. They fixed bugs. They created small programs. But then disaster struck. The school said, "Bill and Paul, you use too much computer time. It's too expensive. No more free access." Bill's heart broke into pieces. No computer? That was like telling a fish, "No more water." But here's where Bill's genius showed up. He made a deal with a local company. The company had a computer full of bugs. Bill said, "I'll fix your bugs for free, but you must let me use your computer." The company agreed. Bill was only 15 years old, but he was already solving real business problems. Bill didn't have money, but he had skills. He traded his skills for computer time. Always asked, "What can I offer?" Not, "What can I get?" Then something crazy happened. Bill and Paul did something very bad. They hacked into a computer system. They wanted to see secret files. They wanted to understand how it worked. But they got caught. The company was furious. They banned Bill from using computers for an entire summer. For Bill, this was torture. 3 months without coding? It felt like prison. But here's the interesting part. This punishment taught Bill a huge lesson. He learned that rules matter. He learned that you can't just do whatever you want. He learned to be smarter, not just clever. Years passed. Bill finished high school with amazing grades. He scored 1590 out of 1600 on his SAT test. Almost perfect. Every top university wanted him. He chose Harvard. Harvard, one of the most prestigious universities on earth. His parents threw a party. Their son was going to be successful. He would become a lawyer. He would have a safe, comfortable life. But what they didn't know was this. In exactly 2 years, Bill would make a decision that would break their hearts and change the world forever. Bill arrived at Harvard in 1973. He was excited. Harvard had the best professors, the best students, the best resources, but something felt wrong. The classes were too slow. Bill already knew most of the material. He was bored, really bored. Instead of studying, Bill played poker all night. He skipped classes. He coded in his dorm room until sunrise. His grades were average. Nothing special. Bill's professors were confused. This kid is brilliant. Why isn't he trying? But Bill was trying, just not at school. He was trying to understand the future. Then, in December 1974, everything exploded. Paul Allen rushed into Bill's dorm room. He was holding a magazine. His hands were shaking. "Bill, look at this." On the cover was a computer called the Altair 8800. It was small. It was cheap. Normal people could buy it. This was the first real personal computer. Bill and Paul stared at each other. Their eyes went wide. They both thought the same thing. This changes everything. If normal people could buy computers, they would need software. They would need programs. And almost nobody was making software yet. This was their moment. Bill grabbed the phone. He called MITS, the company that made the Altair. His heart was pounding. "Hello, this is Bill Gates from Harvard. We have programming software for your computer. We can show you in a few weeks." The man at MITS said, "Really? Okay, we'd love to see it." Bill hung up the phone. Paul looked at him. "Bill, we don't have any software." Bill smiled. "I know, but we will." "Wait, what?" "Yes." Bill just lied to a company. He promised something he didn't have. This was either genius or complete madness. Bill and Paul had 8 weeks to create software from scratch. They worked like machines. 18 hours a day. Every single day. They drank endless coffee. They barely ate. They never left the room. Bill's eyes were red. His hands shook from exhaustion, but he kept typing. Paul fell asleep at the keyboard multiple times. But they didn't stop, because they knew if they succeeded, they would change history. After 8 weeks of hell, they finished. They called it Altair Basic. It was a programming language for the Altair computer. Paul flew to MITS to demonstrate it. Bill stayed behind. He was too nervous to go. Paul loaded the program into the Altair computer. Everyone held their breath. Would it work? The computer beeped. The screen flickered. And then it worked. Perfectly. The MITS team was shocked. "This is incredible. How did you do this so fast?" Paul smiled but said nothing. MITS wanted to license the software immediately. Bill and Paul had just created their first real product. But now came the biggest decision of Bill's life: Harvard or Microsoft, safe degree or crazy risk. His parents begged him, "Bill, please finish school. You can start a company later." His professors said, "You're throwing away a Harvard degree." Even Paul said, "Are you sure about this?" Bill looked at the future. He saw computers in every home, every office, everywhere. Bill didn't wait for the perfect moment. He didn't wait to finish school. He saw the window opening and he jumped. Perfect timing with good enough skills beats perfect skills with bad timing. In 1975, Bill Gates dropped out of Harvard. His parents cried. But Bill started Microsoft. Micro for microcomputers. Soft for software. He was 20 years old. He had no office, no employees, almost no money, just a dream and a keyboard. And what happened next would make him the richest person on earth. But first, he would work harder than any human should ever work. Right now, comment your biggest fear. What stops you from taking your big risk? Share it with us. Fan 4. Han Trin Len Din VOI Shock Moments. Bill and Paul rented a small, cheap office in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Why there? Because that's where MITS was located. The office was tiny. It was hot. It had no air conditioning. But it was theirs. Microsoft was officially born. Bill worked like a man possessed. He coded 16 to 18 hours every day. He didn't go home. He slept under his desk. He wore the same clothes for 3 days straight. Paul said, "Bill, you need to rest." Bill said, "I'll rest when I'm dead." Mini lesson number 4, obsession beats talent. Bill wasn't the smartest programmer in the world, but he worked more hours than anyone else. He outworked his competition. When talent and hard work meet, magic happens. Microsoft grew slowly at first. They made software for different small computers. They earned some money, but not much. Bill and Paul were tired. They were stressed. They argued sometimes, but they never quit. Then, in 1980, something insane happened. IBM called. IBM, the biggest, most powerful computer company on the entire planet. They were building a personal computer. They needed an operating system fast. An operating system is the main software that makes a computer work. It's like the brain. IBM asked, "Can you create an operating system for us in 3 months?" This was impossible. Operating systems take years to build. But Bill said, "Yes, absolutely." He lied again. But this time, Bill had a crazy plan. He found a small company that had already built an operating system called QDOS. It wasn't great, but it worked. Bill bought it for only $50,000. $50,000. That's nothing. Then Microsoft improved it quickly. They renamed it MS-DOS. Bill showed it to IBM. IBM loved it. "This is exactly what we need." They made a deal. But here's where Bill showed his absolute genius. The contract said, IBM can use MS-DOS on their computers, but Microsoft still owns it. This meant Microsoft could sell MS-DOS to other companies too. IBM didn't realize what this meant, but Bill did. Drop a fire emoji if you think this was a genius move. Within 2 years, dozens of companies were making IBM-compatible computers, and every single one needed MS-DOS. Microsoft suddenly had customers everywhere. Money poured in, thousands of dollars, then millions. Bill hired more programmers. Microsoft grew bigger and bigger. In 1985, Microsoft launched Windows. Windows was revolutionary. It had pictures, icons, and a mouse. You didn't need to type complicated commands anymore. Regular people could use computers easily. Windows became a massive hit. Millions of copies sold, then tens of millions. then hundreds of millions. In 1986, Microsoft went public. This means people could buy shares of the company on the stock market. On the first day, Microsoft's value exploded. Bill Gates owned 45% of Microsoft. Overnight, he became a millionaire many, many times over. He was only 31 years old. By 1987, Bill Gates was worth over $1 billion. $1 billion. He was one of the youngest billionaires in history. Newspapers put his face on the cover. The boy genius who conquered computers. But Bill didn't buy fancy cars or huge mansions. He kept working. Why? Because he had a vision. He wanted a computer on every desk in every home on Earth. People laughed. Impossible. Most people don't need computers. Bill ignored them. Microsoft kept innovating. They created Microsoft Office. This included Word for writing, Excel for numbers, and PowerPoint for presentations. Today, over 1 billion people use Microsoft Office. They created Internet Explorer for browsing the web. They created Xbox for gaming. They created Azure for cloud computing. By the late 1990s, Microsoft was the most valuable company in the world. And Bill Gates? He became the richest person on Earth. His net worth reached $100 billion. $100 billion. That's more money than most countries have. Bill stayed the richest person for 13 years straight. But here's what most people don't know. Bill didn't keep all that money. In 2000, Bill and his wife Melinda started the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. This charity fights diseases. It builds schools. It provides clean water. It saves children's lives. Bill has donated over $50 billion. That's billion with a B. He gave away half of his fortune to help people he would never meet. He said, "What's the point of having money if you can't make the world better?" Today, the Gates Foundation saves an estimated 122 million lives every year. Think about that. 122 million lives. Because one curious kid loved computers. In 2008, Bill stepped away from Microsoft to focus full-time on charity. He still works every day. But now he works to fight malaria, polio, and poverty. Microsoft is now worth over $3 trillion. That's 3,000 billion. It's one of the top 3 most valuable companies on Earth. And it all started in a tiny office with 2 young guys and a crazy dream. From college dropout to tech giant. From $50,000 to $3 trillion. From one computer in a school to billions of computers worldwide. This is the power of curiosity. This is the power of taking risks. This is the power of working when everyone else is sleeping. Bill Gates didn't just build a company. He changed how we live, work, learn, and connect. So what did we learn from Bill Gates? Let me give you the 3 secrets that changed everything. Secret number 1, be dangerously curious. Bill didn't just like computers. He was obsessed. He asked questions nobody else asked. He learned things nobody else cared about. Curiosity is your superpower. The more you ask, the more you learn. The more you learn, the more valuable you become. What are you curious about right now? Follow that curiosity. It knows where to go. Secret number 2, lie to get started, then deliver like crazy. Wait, did I just say lie? Yes. Bill lied to MITS. He lied to IBM. He promised things he didn't have yet. But then he worked 18 hours a day to make it true. This is called fake it till you make it. But you must actually make it. Don't wait until you're ready. Say yes first. Figure it out later. Just make sure you deliver. Secret number 3, win the game by changing the rules. Bill didn't try to build better computers than IBM. He made the software that all computers needed. He didn't compete. He controlled. Smart people work hard. Genius people change the game. Look at your life. What game are you playing? Can you change the rules instead of just playing better? 3 more quick truths from Bill Gates himself. Success is a lousy teacher. It makes smart people think they cannot fail. Stay humble. Keep learning. Your last success means nothing for your next challenge. If you are born poor, it's not your fault. But if you die poor, it's your fault. You have the internet. You have free information. You have opportunities people 50 years ago couldn't imagine. Use them. We always overestimate the change that will occur in 2 years and underestimate the change that will occur in 10 years. Think long term. Small actions today become massive results in 10 years. Okay, we've reached the end. But this isn't really the end, is it? This is your beginning. Bill Gates was just a shy, awkward kid who asked questions. He dropped out of school. He slept under desks. He lied to IBM. But he never stopped working. He never stopped learning. He never stopped believing. And that made all the difference. Now it's your turn. What will you do with this story? Will you just watch and forget? Or will you actually change something? Here's what I want you to do right now. First, smash that like button if this story inspired you. It tells YouTube to show this to more people learning English. Second, subscribe to MindSpeak and turn on notifications. Every week, we bring you incredible stories that teach English and change mindsets. Don't miss the next one. Third, and this is the most important, comment below and tell me, what is one action you will take in the next 24 hours because of Bill Gates' story? Will you start that project? Learn that skill? Take that risk? Write it down. Make it real. Commit publicly. When you write it, you're 3 times more likely to actually do it. And if you love this video, share it with one friend who needs inspiration today. One friend who's learning English. One friend who's afraid to take a risk. You might change their life. Remember, Bill Gates once said, most people overestimate what they can do in 1 year and underestimate what they can do in 10 years. Start today. Start small, but start. Thank you for watching until the very end. You're in the top 1% of viewers who actually finish videos. That means you're serious. You're committed. You're different. I'm Tony from MindSpeak. Keep learning. Keep growing. Keep taking risks. And remember, curiosity doesn't kill cats. It builds empires. See you in the next story. Number 1. It's fine to celebrate success, but it is more important to heed the lessons of failure. Number 2. Your most unhappy customers are your greatest source of learning. Number 3. Don't compare yourself with anyone in this world. If you do so, you are insulting yourself.